Hello, my name is Stephanie Spicer and I'm a Lyme. I'm not a doctor or a medical professional, so what I say here is just my opinion based on my own experiences and reading. I'd like to talk a bit today about what is known as the plateau. Many people in the Lyme disease community, and particularly in the Rife machine community, notice a moment in their treatment where they don't seem to be improving anymore and just seem to be stuck in one place. Personally, when I started Rife machine treatment, I noticed a very dramatic improvement right at the beginning, but after a while I did seem to plateau. I was still doing treatments and still getting Herxheimer reactions, but I didn't seem to be getting any benefit out of it. Many people become disappointed when this happens and stop doing treatments. After all, why continue if it just makes you feel sick and doesn't seem to give you anything in return? I'd like to postulate that this kind of a plateau isn't really a plateau, but rather a very gradual incline. So gradual, in fact, that it can be hard to notice. Many years ago, I read an article about recreational tree climbing. There are people who use rock climbing equipment to pull themselves up some of the highest trees in the world. One thing that I remember from that article that has always stuck with me was a phenomenon that the tree climbers noticed as they repeated the same motions over and over again. It felt like they had stopped moving. They couldn't see the forest for the tree right in front of their faces. I believe this is what is happening during a Lyme treatment plateau. I believe that we are making progress, but we can't see the big picture because we're so focused on the day-to-day, repeating the same motions over and over and over again. It's only when, out of the blue, one day you realize, hey, I haven't had that one symptom for a while, that you know that it's working. I wish that improvement was much faster than it is. Unfortunately, because of the jarish-herxheimer reaction, it has to be slow to give our bodies enough time to process out the toxins. I would encourage you not to give up on treatment when you hit the plateau. Remember that it's not really a plateau. If you're herxing, it's a sign that you're moving forward. Alright, now that we've covered the false plateau, let's take a look at the real plateau. A false plateau is when you're still herxing but you don't notice any overall progress. What if you aren't experiencing Herxheimers anymore when you treat, but still suffer from Lyme disease symptoms? This is a real plateau. In this case, if you're treating with antibiotics, it might be time to switch to a different kind. Maybe the one you're using has done all it can for the time being, and you need to hit the Lyme from a different angle. This doesn't apply as much to Rife machine treatment, but I just thought I'd mention it for anyone out there who's using antibiotics. And remember that it's not all about killing bacteria. We also need to keep up with detox, replenish our bodies with minerals and other nutrients that are consumed by Lyme or that we lose during detox, and work on building a healthy environment. And if you don't notice any improvement at all, ever, when you treat for Lyme, it may be possible that you have some other issue. Another reason you might experience a real plateau is because of co-infections. I'll be discussing this issue more in an upcoming video, but for now, suffice it to say this. People who have Lyme disease usually have a number of other ongoing chronic infections as well. These infections can work in tandem with each other through a mechanism called quorum sensing, so that when one becomes weaker, another one moves to the forefront. It's a good idea to look into what co-infections you might be dealing with, especially if Lyme treatment has seemed to hit a plateau. Try hitting one of the other infections and see what happens. Sometimes you only become aware of these infections once you have your Lyme more under control, so a true Lyme plateau can be a good opportunity to deal with them. The good news is, weakening your co-infections will weaken your Lyme disease infection too. Make sure to go back and try hitting the Lyme again after a co-infection campaign, and you might just find that it works. It's also important not to mistake a plateau for remission. The word remission is used a lot in the Lyme world, but honestly, it's not a very accurate description of what is happening in your body when symptoms lessen or treatment produces less herxing. These signs don't mean stop treatment. If you stop treatment before the infection is gone, it will come back. And here's a word of encouragement. If you've reached the point of plateau, whether imagined or real, that means that you've already come a long way. Don't grow weary, soldier. Keep on fighting until it's over.